Hey, Tom is back in the USA. Look, Tom was at the Super Bowl winning Fan of the Year. We all know that. Literally, the only thing I want to talk about today is your experience at and being around the Super Bowl and winning. That's all I want to talk about today. There's no reason to discuss anything else except for your awesome experience winning Fan of the Year.
What about the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl?
Nope, not.
Baby, we here.
We're still.
You in the right direction. Welcome to another edition of the Grossi Perna Show. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna, and this is GPS. And the S stands for the Chiefs gave me COVID.
No, that's not funny.
Bro, listen.
I mean, dude, the last time they beat the 49ers in the Super Bowl, Tom, they gave the whole world COVID. So
that's what I'm saying. Like,
surprised me none.
You know, there's a lot of conspiracy theorists out there talking about the NFL being scripted and rigged. I think that the Kansas City Chiefs are spreading worldwide pandemics.
Oh, easy.
And that's the topic I really want to talk about today.
Yeah. The fact that they keep getting away with it's sad.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so some people are already asking, how am I home? So the Super Bowl ended, and dude, I was terrified because it went into overtime, and my flight I had a board at 10:45 Pacific, and I was like, okay, like this is starting to cut a little close. It's gonna be crazy after the game. Don't know if I'm gonna make it there, and I thought it was gonna go into double overtime.
Yeah, we all did.
Yeah, because those ad breaks were long, and I was like, dude, this like I might have to miss the end of the Super Bowl, which I obviously don't want to. But yeah, so I booked a red eye, and like I felt fine this entire week. I felt good. It was great, and like I had a little bit of a scratchy throat, and I was like, oh, okay, like maybe just from yelling at the Super Bowl because it was exciting and stuff. And so I like texted my dad who picked me up from the airport. I was like, hey, just bring bring some masks and stuff like that. And like maybe like a COVID test just an abundance of caution. I don't want to get anybody sick, that kind of stuff, stay away from everybody, all that great stuff. Wash my hands a cajillion times. And I felt nothing. I was fine. I got about an hour and a half to 2 hours of sleep on the plane.
That helps when you don't feel well.
It's true. And I woke, my earbud fell out and it rolled like a row back. So that was with 3 hours left in the flight. And I was like, okay, so I'm not gonna be able to sleep at all. And then I got in the car and I was like, all right, let me do this COVID test, blah, 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 blah. And it pops. And not even like 30 minutes later when we're driving home, I'm just like, oh, I feel like complete garbage. And so I'm never leaving my basement again, is basically the moral of the story.
Yeah.
And that's it.
That's what you get for leaving that basement, Tom. You got real cocky leaving that basement to collect your award from the NFL.
Strutting around out here. I didn't even get my award. Yeah, they said they're going to ship it to me. So that's a great joke, Vapors.
That's actually better. Like if you had to haul that thing on the plane.
Oh, I would have taken it as a carry-on.
The whole way home.
What is that? Fan of the year.
Fan of the year from the NFL.
Fan of the year. Fan of the year. Fan of the year.
Shouldn't you be in first class then? No.
I was the seat behind Comfort Plus, and I was like, this is luxury. This is nice.
Yeah.
But we have a lot to talk about. One, I missed you, buddy. I missed doing
this.
It was weird.
No GPS 2 days in a row?
Yeah. It was strange. No Wednesday, no Friday.
Gross.
But we here now.
It was fun streaming during the NFL honors and then impromptu having 5 Tree and Scooter all hop on.
I didn't realize that because when I hopped in, when I was sitting in my seat, I like just saw you and I was like, oh, okay, like that's really cool, because you said that you were going to stream it. We're saying hi to the fans and stuff like that. We donated some money. It was great. And then like when I logged on after I'd won, like I didn't realize that like the entire clickbait crew is in there, which probably led to the tears that were leaking out of my face.
Yeah, we're all just
So,
rooting for you,
yeah.
pulling
Yeah.
on your heartstrings.
Hey, Anwaz, I appreciate
Happens.
you. There's a lot to talk about though. Do you want to actually talk about the Super Bowl? Because like,
no,
damn.
fuck that game. No,
Dude, can I
no,
ask
I'm
you a
kidding.
question?
I don't care. I don't
Can
care.
I actually like ask you a real question?
Yeah.
Why was John Elway even there?
Oh, dude, that was just like,
Because that I was like, is that John Elway? I was like, why is John Elway here? Because I'm like, he's not affiliated. Is he affiliated with CBS? Is that
no? It was like an anniversary special, like a 25th anniversary from, I guess it would have to be when Elway retired or won his last Super Bowl. I don't know. It was some anniversary. You know, when you're streaming, you can kind of catch bits from the TV.
Yeah.
So it was like a pre-planned thing.
Appreciate you.
So if you don't know, after the game, Elway had to walk the Super Bowl trophy out to the Chiefs. And he had to walk through a line of Kansas City Chiefs. And the whole time, he's just
like, dun, 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 dun. Yeah.
This is a real smile, everybody. Now, if you were giving that to freaking Shanahan up there and McCaffrey, been awesome. They should have had two options.
Yeah.
And if Elway could have done the coolest thing ever. And just when he went to give it to the Chiefs, just been like, and then walked away.
I would have respected.
Everybody would have. He would have been a god.
I think everyone would have. I
Just
don't think he would have been invited
the pettiest move of all time. I mean, I kind of imagine that's how it must have felt for Chiefs fans when the Broncos acquired Neil Smith and we won the Super Bowl with them.
Yeah.
And I hate that everything that I used to brag about and be proud about has just come back to slap me in the face.
Yeah, like because you guys like went to a Super Bowl, you won a Super Bowl, and the Chiefs are like, okay, we're now gonna make your life a living hell.
Yeah.
And we're gonna win like 3 Super Bowls.
Yeah. You know. It's not fun to watch, but like I've grown as a man, as a person, as an adult. What I realized is I live and die with the plays during the game, but once the game is over, in terms of like emotion, I'm over it. I'm done. Now I'll think about it strategically. Like I'll think about like the actual football parts of it, but I don't let it ruin a minute of my day after the game's over. So everybody should pat me on the back for being an adult, because that's like how you should handle it. But that's most fans don't. So please, Tom got fan of the year, and maybe I'm adult of the year. I'm so mature, is what I'm saying. And also, if the Broncos ever win the Super Bowl again, I will be better than Chiefs fans. Most of you are cool. You know that. Cole. Man, Cole kind of talks a lot of shit. Rachel, you're cool. But I'm gonna remember to be better than your petty asses out there who can't just enjoy the win. They got to go and try and throw it in everybody's face, you know? I don't like those guys. I don't like those fans.
I hear that.
It's just like, be happy your team won the Super Bowl. But then there's this weird sect of people going and trying to just take shots at everybody through it. I don't respect you fucks one bit. One bit.
I think, like, we just have to have an agreement now. And, like, Chiefs fans, I think even you, in your elation, celebrate. It's exciting. It's great. If I hear one more complaint ever in the next 15 years from you about we only won 6 games, nobody likes us, it's done now. It's done. You freaking had your worst season.
Yeah.
Travis Kelce was irrelevant the entire regular season. Rashee Rice came up. You basically had no wide receivers besides Rashee Rice, who came along later. The offense was sputtering. And you freaking went on the road, right? Knocked off the Bills, knocked off the number 1 seed Ravens, and then you beat the 49ers in the Super Bowl. So it's done now. There is no more complaining about anything ever. I don't care if the refs literally flip off Patrick Mahomes and eject him just for walking.
Yeah.
It's fair game now. That's fine. Because now the reign of terror is like officially here. Because it was like, oh, like they're really good. Last year they win without Tyreek Hill, and we're like, oh, that's kind of nuts. This year, Purdy and I are talking about, well, you know what? When or if they lose, they just need to go get a wide receiver and they'll be fine. And they still won.
Yeah. Their offense will be better next year. I don't know if their defense will be as dominant, just because like it is harder to maintain a truly elite defense. And I think the Chiefs had that this year. But their offense will be better.
Yeah.
The Chiefs fans, hear me right now, okay? Because you have an opportunity to be great. You really do.
I think they already are because they won.
No, Chiefs fans have an opportunity to be great.
Okay.
Patriots, after they won 3 Super Bowls in 4 years, their fans became the worst. Just the worst in the NFL. Everybody hated Patriots fans in addition to hating the Patriots for years. You have an opportunity to be classy winners, Kansas City. How do you do that when you're on top of the world? I don't know. I'm not going to give you a blueprint for it. You figure that shit
there's
out.
There's no shot in hell. If the Broncos win a Super Bowl, you are going to rain down hellfire. There's no,
I wouldn't, dude. I think I learned after the Russell Wilson video to never be optimistic.
No. But if you, no, I get that. No, you can't like celebrate prematurely ever again. I'm saying if you win the Super Bowl, there's going to be some victory laps. And like, listen, Chiefs fans should take some victory laps.
I'm going to be classy about it. I'm just going to do tweets about how I'm happy my team won, not how your team is a baby bitch boy.
Yep. I like the alliteration, but yep, I can already see it.
Will not be tweeting about baby bitch boys if the Broncos win the Super Bowl again. That's my pledge to you, audience.
Do you even believe yourself?
Yeah. Well, you know why I believe myself, Tom? Because I don't think the Broncos are getting to a Super Bowl for a long freaking time.
You're like, man. I'm not going to have to worry about this.
I don't have to reckon with that day for a long time. Meatball.
Appreciate you coming. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I don't even know if that was to Perna or me, but I appreciate you either way.
I appreciate you too.
Bro, I would have liked to seen like, dude, can you imagine Lions Bills? That would have been amazing. That would have been so much fun.
Dude, I think the Lions would have won that game. I think the Lions would have won the Super Bowl because their offense works. The Lions' offense works against everyone.
Yeah.
And
except the Packers.
On
Thanksgiving.
Tom's going to virally infect me through my computer.
Don't blink. If you're a blinker, cut your eyelids off.
That's what I do.
But like,
boop. Thank you, Daniel.
Game was the first half of that game was weirdly entertaining because there was not a lot of points being scored.
Yeah.
But you had 2 fumbles, you had a big pass, the fumbles, the crazy touchdown by the 49ers, the Juwan Jennings touchdown throw.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't necessarily good football, but I was entertained by it. Third quarter, kind of rough. And really, it was a bunch of missed opportunities by the 49ers. Great defensive play by the Chiefs.
Yes.
And then fourth quarter, overtime, Patrick Mahomes takes over. That's why he won MVP. And that's kind of what gets lost. Like, it's this weird line, right, where Mahomes is really good when it matters the most. And that's an incredibly important thing to have with your quarterback. But we forget, like, when you got to be clutch late, it's a lot of times because your offense played like shit for the first 3 quarters of the game. And the Chiefs offense did.
Yeah.
They, like,
49ers defense was great too. That first half, like, they were amazing. They were just getting pressure.
They lose Dre Greenlaw on the freakiest accident I've ever seen. Like, he's just trying to run out on the field. Did they show that at the game?
So they didn't, like, I found that online because basically, sorry, what happened was Johnny was like, wow, this commercial break is like really long. Like, there's just not a lot of action going on. And that's when, like, you kind of saw what was going on. Like, a car came out in the whole 9 yards. But dude, talk about freak accidents. It's like horrible. And
sucks because he's a key part of their defense. And the way it happened, like, it might be a different game if he's in there. Like, you don't know.
I mean, you talk about, and Justin, thank you for the fitty. Boop. For the kitty. I apologize for the lack of energy. It's training quick.
You're gonna fight through it. I know you.
Oh yeah, no, I'm recording every
You're
NFL
a
fan.
man.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. We'll talk about what the Niners are gonna do because I actually really want to talk about that. Because I was talking to a lot of 49ers fans as they were walking out of the stadium because many of them did not stay for the award ceremony. They're like,
No,
we
that's
out.
like the worst part is watching
Like,
through that.
We're not watching this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for the Chiefs offense, because like Chase Young, right, who has been like he had like when they first traded for him, like he was playing pretty well, and then this postseason, no, like kind of disappeared for a while, and then in that game, especially that first half, like he was crushing it, dude. Like he was constantly getting pressure, like the O-line was getting overwhelmed, but similar to the Packers game against the 49ers, it was like the lead is not big enough.
Yeah.
Like there was not a single 49ers fan sitting there going, yeah, we're comfortable like 10-0, 10-3. Because you've seen this story before. And I feel like that inevitability, like even when the 49ers got the upper hand, it was a blocked extra point, right?
Yeah.
Or it was, hey, they have the ball. They have an opportunity to go up multiple scores with not a ton of time left. What is it, 3 and outs in a row?
Something like that, yeah.
You know, and it's just the off. I mean, the thing is, there's a lot of questions, right, about the 49ers. It's like what you do next season. We'll talk about that. But it's kind of looking where to blame because you look at the lack of usage of CMC, right? That was probably like one of the big things that was standing out, that they just didn't utilize him a lot. And kudos to the Chiefs defense because the Chiefs defense did continue.
Yeah, I mean, I think they were utilizing him in that first series. And then the Chiefs were stopping the run. I mean, McCaffrey had 22 carries and 8 receptions. It was more like the Chiefs outside of the early on in that first quarter, you couldn't run against them.
It was like, because the first, like their drive in overtime, it was CMC, right? Like they were just marching down the field. And I was like, yes, like this makes sense too, because everyone's super tired. You just played an entire football game. But I just thought that maybe that, right? Then you look at special team blunders, right? Whether it's the block, extra point, but then the muffed punt, dude.
It hit off the foot of the dude.
It's just
off of Lute's foot.
Yeah, so pretty much everybody eats bread.
McLeod's got to go and try and grab that ball. He just couldn't scoop it up. But yeah, the blocked PAT. Sorry, Jake Moody, that you got the curse on the curse wheel. I really am.
Yeah, come on, man.
That was awful. The Lute foot thing. And that's what, like, when you're talking about, like, you know, quarterback performances, that muff punt led to a Chiefs touchdown, right?
Yes.
And so that was their first touchdown of the game. And it wasn't even a drive by their offense. They were just gifted great field position right there. So even at that point, I'm like, the Niners defense is doing a hell of a job.
Yes. Yes. I mean, so you look at that and you go, okay, who do you blame? It really feels like, besides the defense, because I feel like the defense doesn't get a lot of, like, even that last play where they score, like, that's just a great play call by the Chiefs.
Yeah, that was like Andy Reid just at his best, I feel like.
But like you talk about, because people talk about coaching today, because they're like, oh, the Chiefs players, like they were preparing for this in training camp. If like the Super Bowl goes into overtime and now they're going to go for 2 and all that great stuff. And you had 49ers players go, yeah, we didn't understand the rules.
Yeah.
And I think it's just now is going to be the time where, you know, blame is going to be, you know, kind of given
have somebody to blame.
It's
gotta.
But isn't that make it more frustrating? Because you and I talked about this. And what did I say about the Chiefs? The Chiefs are not going to make the mistakes. And they did. Because like Mahomes, right? Through the interception, you had the fumble, right? Because like it was sloppy football in the beginning too. It was great defense, which was fun to see. But it was also sloppy football. And to get to the point where they weren't the Lions and they weren't the Packers. Like they weren't going to like make so many mistakes. In that second half, the Chiefs really didn't make any mistakes. And the 49ers did. And that ultimately like led them to losing the game. And I think it's just frustrating because you're looking at this going, what do we have to do to beat the Chiefs?
Yeah.
You have the 1 seed, doesn't work. You have, you know, home field advantage, it doesn't work. You have the best defense in football, it doesn't work. And that just speaks to the experience of guys like Kelce, Mahomes, of course, Andy Reid is in there as well, having that great defense. Because, I mean, what do you do at this point? Like,
you got to be perfect. You got to be perfect.
You have to be perfect.
And you have to take advantage of every opportunity presented to you.
Exactly.
You can't have your best player fumbling on the opening series. Like McCaffrey fumbled on the opening series of the game when the Niners were working them too. Like that first drive, I was like, oh shit, okay, we're going to have a game.
Yeah.
He fumbles. Also, luck was not on the 49ers side. And you had people think that's like a knock on it. You have to have some luck to win Super Bowls.
Something has to bounce your way.
Every single Super Bowl winning team, I swear to God, it's through the postseason. And if it's not also the Super Bowl, you're like, dang, we caught a break in these games. Kansas City fumbled, I think it was in the first quarter, but the ball bounced right to Justin Watson. Right to him. Like, he just, oh, thank you. We don't lose the ball. First play of the second half, it's that bad pitch to Isiah Pacheco. Yeah. Chiefs fumble, but they recover. Patrick Mahomes, a few plays later, throws that interception, and the Niners do nothing with it.
They don't capitalize.
They don't even get 3 points out of it.
Correct.
So that's the not getting 3 points. That's the Chiefs defense being good. But like there's a couple breaks there. And then the Niners got their break, which was in overtime. They were going to go 3 and out. They got defensive holding on like third and infinity. And they got all the way down to the goal line. Probably should have just went for it, been aggressive. I know it's a hard situation because points there. If you stop the Chiefs, you can win, and they had a chance. But you got to have a little bit of luck. And, you know, the Chiefs got their opportunities, and they didn't F it up when it mattered.
Johnny John John!
I thought
you watched that with the Patriots for so long.
Yeah.
And it's like teams know they got to be perfect late. And I think that leads to them making mistakes. They get out of doing what they do well. I think I was listening to Good Morning Football, and they were talking about the Niners started blitzing a lot late in the game. They hadn't been doing it all games. Like, why do you change your approach there? But like Will and I think, talked about that in the stream where you play against these teams that you know are good. They're well prepared. They have the quarterback. They have the coach.
Yeah.
And you start shooting yourself in the foot with mistakes.
Yeah.
That you might not make against other teams because you're not as worried about them beating you.
But
that's an advantage you have when you're the dynasty team.
But that's also why I picked the Chiefs to win this game, because like I picked the Chiefs to beat the Dolphins, but then I picked them to lose against the Bills, and then I picked them to lose against the Ravens.
Sure.
Because the Ravens, for the most part, they weren't making mistakes. Like, they were playing some pretty darn good football. They were a very well-balanced team. Appreciate you, Ashley. But the 49ers, in their 2 victories in the playoffs, they made plenty of mistakes. Like, the Lions game, 24-7, right? Like, they get down to a match. And again, they came back, and they deserve credit for that. Absolutely. Packers, they couldn't, like, the Packers made plenty of mistakes as well, right? Of course, the Packers could have won that game, right? And Jordan Love just makes a bad decision. So I just never thought the Chiefs would do that to the point where the Lions and Packers would, because it's that experience. And you look at the 2 teams that the 49ers played, the Packers, the youngest team in the NFL, there's going to be mistakes. There's mistakes all season, right? And the Lions, his first NFC championship game, right? You know what I mean? So
no, and both of those defenses are questionable, right?
Yeah.
And that's putting it politely. Like, your concerns before the Packers even got to the playoffs, like, our defense is terrible at times. The Lions had one of the worst secondaries like in the NFL. And so we knew, like, if the Chiefs got an early lead or they had that big lead in the first half, there's no way the 49ers were going to score quickly against their defense. Mm-hmm. And the 49ers' first touchdown required a miraculous trick play to work.
Yeah. Shout Juwan Jennings, dude. Like, he was a beast. Yeah. Like, he should have won MVP if the 49ers.
He was on pace for it. And so, also Chris Conley. Jesus, fuck, dude.
Yeah.
I've never been so excited about a guy just making special teams plays in my life.
And that's what's frustrating too. Like, the 49ers were like crushing it. It was like the punter and kicker game, because I was like, wow, they set the record. Oh, now that record's gone. Like, it literally was just like great special teams. And it was a special teams blunder that set up that momentum for the Chiefs to eventually score.
Yeah. And it wasn't Moody, you know? And the worst part is Butker's 57-yard field goal could have so easily been batted down at the line. Like, it's a low kick, but it just goes through like this little gap of hands right up the like
Yeah.
you know, weird shit happens in the Super Bowl. Another guy who played really well was, and he's been solid for the Chiefs in this postseason, was their linebacker Leo Chanel. Like their
Chanel's
linebacking
great.
crew is deep. And in my power ranking before, I was like, the 49ers have the two better linebackers overall, and it's close because Bolton and Willie Gay are good. It was like the Chiefs linebacker depth with Chanel and Drew Tranquil there as a group, like they're fucking stacked. And Chanel, I think, blocked the PAT, and he had a couple like run stops that were really impressive. And it's really hard for defenses to get the credit they deserve when a guy like Patrick Mahomes is your QB and he's consistently as good as he is.
Yeah.
But like genuinely all year long, even losing those games, like except when the Broncos kind of worked them, Chiefs defense, I was like, they're so good.
Yep.
Like,
yep.
You can't just like lie about it and talk shit, you know? So
yeah. No, I get you.
They're good. They're stupidly good.
No, I want to break down, but first.
Hey.
I appreciate y'all. Y'all crazy. And again, I'm sorry for the lack of energy on my part because
good.
We're going downhill quickly. But yes, it was a great game. Like I really enjoyed the game. You know, again, it was a defensive one first. It definitely was some sloppy football, and the ending was definitely classic. I found it funny because it was a very, very pro 49ers crowd. I mean, every like first down, you heard who, like they were going wild, right? And there was still like, because I posted that video too, because I got that last play, you know, the game-winning touchdown, and you hear like there's a little bit of like there's some cheers and stuff like that, but the stadium is just like quiet. And you know, like as soon as they get that field goal and you give it back to the Chiefs, you're like, oh no, because everybody has seen this before. We've all seen it. And I have to like, dude, you have to give your props to Mahomes, man, because he was their leading rusher, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Leading rusher was clutch when he needed to be. And I think that there's always those comparisons to Tom Brady, and Tom Brady's always, you know, is the most accomplished QB of all time. I've said that for a while because it's obviously true. I don't think he's the most talented QB. Like, I think Aaron Rodgers is more talented. But, like, Patrick Mahomes, dude, like, what he's been able to do before 30 years old, and I know it kills you, Perna, but legitimately, like, we are watching greatness.
No, I know that.
And it's crazy. Like, it really is, because to see a guy in his prime, like a Peyton Manning, for example, right? Or even, like, you could throw in a guy like a Drew Brees, a Tom Brady, an Aaron Rodgers, what have you. We, like, kind of long for those days of, like, QB battles and all that great stuff. Watching Patrick Mahomes play, and he's still so young, the dude's going to be in the league, for at least another decade?
Yeah.
And it's like, this is what he's been able to accomplish already with arguably the worst offense he has had, right? So far, I think that's pretty fair to say. So far to win a Super Bowl.
Yes.
And it just doesn't matter because, like, the clutchness, you think you have him, he's just going to run, right? He's going to do whatever. His improvisation is so good. And it's just like, dude, just watching it in person, I was like, damn. Like, if you could sit there, it was like how I felt about Aaron Rodgers. Whenever the Packers got the ball, like one drive left, you always thought that they were just going to go down and score. Yeah. And with Mahomes, it's the exact same thing. And that's what the mark is of like an elite quarterback.
Yeah, no, I was thinking about that last night. There's all these other metrics you can look at, but how much fear you have when the opposing quarterback has the football trailing and there's a minute left in the game.
Yeah.
And Mahomes is the guy right now. Josh Allen, like, this is what, like, Chiefs fans like to shit on Josh Allen, but he is clutch late in games. Okay. Like, he's done that shit a lot. Like,
sure,
if I'm playing against Josh Allen, I have that fear. Okay.
Yeah.
But before like Mahomes, Brady was that dude. It didn't matter how much time was late in the game. Like, oh God, he's going to put together a drive. Aaron Rodgers, definitely. We saw that several times. Peyton Manning was that guy. It's why Broncos fans like fell in love with John Elway. His career was boosted in the stratosphere because of what he did against the Browns in the playoffs. So that is a hard thing to beat. And like Mahomes, being so much more physically gifted than Tom Brady. And I can't even understate how much more physically talented Mahomes is than Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Having that and, the clutch gene, it's a hard combo to stop.
I feel
and that's why I've always been more willing to not enjoy, but respect what Mahomes does.
Sure.
Because you can see it. Brady was just like, It's like watching Drew Brees. Like, he's good, but a lot of the times it's fucking boring. It's just, there's your slant, there's your slant, there's your slant, there's your slant.
I think you found out, what would Patrick Mahomes look like if he had Tom Brady's defenses?
Yeah, we just watched it.
That's what this year was.
That's the 100%.
Patrick Mahomes is still Patrick Mahomes. I'm not trying to crap on Tom Brady, right? Because I think he's still an amazing quarterback.
I am a little bit.
I know you are, but that's just for the brand. I think that's for you, Perna. I think you got a lot of tacos.
Oh, I know, Lord Taco. I know. And I actually don't know if that's exactly how that rule works right now. I was hearing
it is.
They just play into the next quarter.
The time did not matter. Yeah, time did not matter. It matters in Madden, but no, it does not matter.
I don't like that part of it. I think giving each team the chance is nice, but you still got to work within the confines of the clock. But
I think it's more of if they take 13 minutes off the clock and they only get 2 minutes left, that wouldn't be really seen as fair. Then you could argue the defense. I get it. Perna, you didn't say the line, and I'm a little upset.
You know how many tacos I can buy with that?
Johnny John John!
Can't get up and get do
Dude.
Yeah. How cool was Usher on roller skates?
Dude, it was actually I'm a millennial man, so that was I was just Ludacris came out and I was like, all right, let's go. We're having a grand old time. I don't know, just pure spite and will. I have to get a video out today. I have to get out every fans. I want to get out scripted, which I was sitting in the airport last night and I'm literally emailing myself notes. I'm like, okay, this is what I want to put in there. This is what I want to put in there the entire time. But yeah, no, the halftime show was super cool. It was really, really cool. Before we get off the Super Bowl, I do want to, Justin brought up before, because I was talking to 49ers fans afterwards, and that was kind of the prevailing statement of what do you do now? Because hoping the Chiefs, right, let's break this down. I think, and 49ers fans, please correct me, I think the 49ers were happier to play the Chiefs than they were if they were going to play the Ravens. Because the Ravens absolutely stomped the ever-living bejesus out of them earlier this season.
Yeah.
So, is this just a weaker NFC? Or is it, hey, 49ers, how do you even begin to get better? Because the reason you lost is not because of, one specific thing, right? And, again, you talk about free agents, talk about salary cap, talk about Brock Purdy, which, by the way, that's not on him. The loss is not on him because I can already see there's people trying to be oh, that's why they lost because he's not an elite quarterback. But he's not Patrick Mahomes, right? That's fine. We all know that. But that 49ers team could have won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And I just don't even know where you go from here.
I think all of Purdy's kind of bad plays were because of good Chiefs defense. He was dealing with a ton of pressure. Yeah. I think if you're the 49ers, honestly, you don't do a lot that's different. But I think they need to have the most dominant offensive line in the league, and they have a very good offensive line.
Trent Williams getting older.
They forced a lot of ill-timed throws. They tipped a lot of passes at the line, and coverage. The Chiefs' coverage was just insane. It was hard for Purdy to find anybody open. And George Kittle was not involved in the passing game at all for whatever reason. And I think, I know he's a huge part of the blocking game
too. Yeah.
He hurt his hand late, but you got to get Kittle the ball. Purdy needs to find his guy like Mahomes has with Kelce. That when shit's bad, that's who he's going to.
You force the ball to him.
That guy's going to improvise his way through the defense and find a spot. But I don't think the 49ers have to change something drastically to answer your question. It's just,
but then
got to keep trying to
try to beat the Chiefs and just I hope the Chiefs aren't there.
Yeah, I mean, you just keep trying to build your team in a smart way. If you can get more physical up front on your line, that's better in pass protection. But the Chiefs have this weird defensive front that's
Snake.
led by interior pressure with Chris Jones and I don't even know the other guys on their defensive line, but they're really good. I know was it Pennell?
Oh yeah.
Pennell's in there. He was wreaking havoc.
Furious George.
Yeah. Now that here's something that's really going to piss me off though, Tom.
Tell me.
Because I saw it tweeted out. I don't remember where, but apparently, I don't know who said this. Mahomes and like the Chiefs are working on his contract to make it more cap friendly for the team.
Yes.
And
which we knew was coming when he signed that contract, by the way.
Well, yeah, we knew a restructure would probably happen halfway through. Yes. But I swear to God, if he does that and Russell Wilson is just like, yeah, I ain't reworking my shit.
Why would he?
To fucking win. To be like, this is the best quarterback in the NFL, the league MVP, and he's making it work with his team to be better, just like Brady did before. Like if you're
Brandon, you can't win the division, and I'm not attacking. Like,
no, I know
that's what I mean.
And
if I'm Russell Wilson,
Russ is even as good as him.
No, I'm like, screw it, bro. If I'm Russell Wilson, I'm like, F that noise. If there's another team that like is actually treating me all right and like we're vibing, then I'll restructure all day.
Treating you right? We gave him everything he wanted, and then he was below average, and then he was decent, and the Broncos approached him for a rework, and he did one of these. He said, "No, I'm not going to do it." And they're like, "Well, maybe."
So we're on the against the Russell Wilson train now.
I'm against him being unwilling to discuss how that could work with him.
But there's no job security for him. Like, there's none.
I don't care. You got to win. Go fucking win.
I get it.
And then put your foot down. Like,
I get it.
I'm saying like you can argue in favor of it, but if the best quarterback in the league's like, yeah, I'm gonna be flexible with what I'm doing with my contract, and you're the guy who's not even as good as him, and you're like, no, I'm sticking it to you guys because this is what we agreed upon. It sucks to watch as a fan, and I'm not saying Russ is without is 100% wrong.
Yeah,
and I'm not like we don't know how that situation was handled. We know how the Broncos want to paint it. We know how Russ wants to paint it. Sure, the truth is in the middle there. Yeah. But, Rodgers did it to the Packers too. And then he went to the Jets, and then he was like, I'll get team-friendly now. And then he got hurt. So, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I know.
If I watch Mahomes, like, yeah, here's the team-friendly deal. Let's keep building this roster.
But that's like
so annoyed.
But that's also, I mean, if you're Patrick Mahomes, and you're like, wait a minute, we just won a Super Bowl with this team? And I mean that with all due respect.
No, it's that offense.
That offense, more specifically. Yeah. We won with this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So if I'm going to win 4 more Super Bowls. Yeah. Like, I'm going to go and do it because I think this showed until a guy like Andy Reid retires, right? Or like a Travis Kelce leaves, whatever. Yeah. This is what it's going to be. And we talked about it, just mentioned this. We looked at this and was like, yeah, they need a wide receiver this offseason in case they don't win the Super Bowl. Yeah. They won the Super Bowl now. And guess what? They're going to go get wide receivers still.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be curious to see what their offense actually looks like next year. But I tweeted, I was like, at least the Chiefs will be a better football team next year.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm looking forward to. Oh, God.
Like, I'm a little confused about this. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought this has happened before.
This is a douchey move.
I thought that this has happened before. Like, Kelce has, like, screamed.
Yeah, they got into it earlier this season.
Yeah. So, like, I looked at that as going, yeah, you shouldn't do that. But I'm like, Andy Reid's not going to sit him because it seems like that's the relationship that they have.
Reid's fine with it. It just looked dumb.
It's a really bad look for Kelce. Don't get me wrong. We're talking about like, we don't know what went down. This happened already. And I was like, it got resolved. And I think didn't Reid come out and say like, oh yeah, like he already came and apologized, like he the moment, what have you. And I got to be honest, it would be a bigger story if they lost, but they didn't.
Yeah.
And Travis Kelce did nothing in that first half, right? He had like 1 reception for 1 yard. And then he ended with like 90+ yards.
Yeah. Travis Kelce wasn't wrong, but he loses his cool. He loses his cool.
He can't do that. But again, I think that also speaks to the testament of Andy Reid because you have guys like George Pickens, right? And I'm not putting them all in the same.
Dude, Andy Reid
boat.
survived T.O.
That's what I'm saying.
Getting to him.
But like you have Antonio Browns of the world, and you have all that. Like Mike Tomlin still being able to keep Antonio Brown out of like the news and like do that and still get like a pick for him by trading him to the Raiders.
Yeah.
Like that's what a mark of a good coach does, and somebody who controls that locker room. And I think, you have Kelce with that outburst. I'm sure there was conversations. But like I said, since that's happened before, I wasn't like terribly surprised. I'm not saying it's not wrong, but I like wasn't like, oh man, this is the worst thing ever. Because like this happened months ago.
Yeah. No, it's one of those things that's funny to me, but like
but that's what I'm saying. And this is Brandon's fault. Because if somebody in the damn division would actually do something, and I don't know, be a little bit of competition.
Tried.
A little bit, just a little bit, maybe this doesn't happen. But again, what more do you want to see from the Chiefs to know that they are expertly coached? And if they make it to the playoffs, they can win the Super Bowl. It doesn't matter if they're the 1 seed. It doesn't matter if they have home field advantage. It doesn't matter if they have to go on the road the entire time. They can win because that's the mark of a great coach, great quarterback, great roster, etc. And they have a great defensive coordinator too. Spack is great.
Yeah. Joe Burrow getting hurt really killed our chances, And the Chiefs beat the Bengals last year in the playoffs. I remember that. Don't worry, guys. But Burrow and the Bengals are like the only ones that truly can make them sweat a little bit in the postseason, I feel like.
And I know, I think the officiating, the only real, questionable stuff is, there was a lot of holding that was going on, right? Like the 49ers and stuff like that. Like, there was tackling a Bosa. But I think, as we have talked about with Kurt Benkert, who's officiating that game and what you can get away with. Because I think for the most part, the officials weren't even an issue.
Yeah, no, I prefer games to be officiated this way.
Yeah, just let them play unless it's something insanely egregious. And again, some of those things on Bosa, legitimately getting tackled, I think you can throw a flag. Yeah. But if that's the standard, as long as that's consistent, then we're rocking.
Yeah, and that's a problem. It's not, because they go through an entire regular season where they officiate differently.
Correct.
And then the postseason starts and they let guys play.
Correct.
From corners being more physical to offensive linemen getting away with a little bit more.
Fair.
But yeah, I'm not going to put it on the refs. I was writing about this. And there was a flag early in the game where I think Trent Williams got dinged for holding. And my thing there is, you kind of got to even that out. Okay, fine. We're going to watch the egregious holds, and you got to flag the other team for it. They didn't, but the Niners got that defensive holding in overtime.
Sure.
And it was one of those situations where it's a flag. You can, but you can see a situation where you don't throw that penalty. Whoa.
Yeah, I posted the COVID test and people were like, "Are you pregnant?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm carrying a Fan of the Year trophy."
Nice.
That's
nice. Sick.
But yeah, the Chiefs, Cole, congrats, back to
Congratulations, Cole. Your window's closing, buddy. As I tweeted to you,
you got
15
years,
maybe 15 years of this left. That window's ready to shut. You think I can't withstand 10 years, 12 years of dominance? You're wrong. I'm like a cockroach, motherfucker. I ain't going away. I survived Tom Brady. I will survive Patrick Mahomes, and I will survive whoever comes after him, which I already know. I already know what's going to happen, Tom. Do you want to know?
You tell me, buddy.
Tom Brady hated it. Mahomes hate it. Guess what? Tom Brady is close to finalizing his ownership stake with the Raiders.
Yeah.
By the time Patrick Mahomes retires, Tom Brady will be the full-on owner of the Raiders, and they are going to become the next dynasty. So I'm going to go from the Chiefs. I'm going to go from Brady to the Chiefs with Mahomes to Brady with the Raiders to build them up.
What about in the meantime, it's the Chargers with Harbaugh, and they're just alternating?
They might get one in there. They might get a Super Bowl in there.
But, dude, we're talking about this, and, we're being, facetious a little bit.
Sure.
But we're also bro, I don't know who's going to stop the Chiefs at this point.
See, I mean, yeah, that's an easy thing to say, but every NFL season's different. And what worries you is the Chiefs know how to build the football team, okay? So a lot of their defensive talent is guys that they have drafted. So I'm scared of them continuing to have really good drafts, but that's not a guarantee. And they do. Mahomes is
great front
talking about
office, though.
reworking his deal now because Chris Jones, free agent, Snead's a free agent. There's a couple key guys in there they got to pay and keep, and it is hard to envision how you stop them. But like to give hope to other people, other fans, it's a week to week league.
Yes.
Injuries can derail seasons. Guys going to get paid can derail seasons. So, yes, I do think they're going to be the team to beat for a very long time, but I don't think this guarantees that they're going to win 3, 4, 5 Super Bowls in a row. Like, shit can happen. And Andy Reid knows that, but, like, somebody's got to stop them.
And
we got to pray for bad, weird things, you know?
Any team that beats the Chiefs in the postseason are going to be seen as gods. Like, that's why the Bengals were already a great story, right? With Joe Burrow and, like, they're this upstart team. Didn't think they were going to go this far. And then they go into Arrowhead and win, and they're like, oh my God, like this is the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
So whatever team does that next, have fun. Because like you will be that even if it's for one season and the Chiefs wind up winning the Super Bowl the next year.
Yeah. It's like maybe Steve Spagnuolo will retire or some shit. But like, you know, the Giants went in and stopped the undefeated Patriots. That's why we watch the game. We don't know what's going to happen. But yeah, it looks like their reign of terror is not coming to an end.
No, it's not. It's just pain, buddy. It's just pain. All right. Do we want to talk about other things?
Underdog fantasy?
Oh, okay. That works too.
I did 3 pick'ems for the Super Bowl. Lost all of them in true fashion. I thought if I did 3 pick'ems that would be guaranteed to lose, that maybe the 49ers would win. They did not. Also, Underdog gave away, I believe, $1 million in bonus cash for the Super Bowl. So sign up with our code GPS. We got a link in the description to play your pick'em games. And now that the NFL season's over, you got fantasy games you can play for the NBA, for the NHL, for March Madness. I'm sure there's going to be some crazy stuff. But they've been rocking with us all season long. So, you know, if you're thinking about doing that stuff, you want a little pick'em action? I think, what was the one that got me? Let me try and look in here real quick.
I did one and none of them hit, and I was like, all right. And then I was in Nevada, and it's like, you can't do this here. And I was like, all right.
I had the Scorchers. The Scorchers are now available in Colorado.
Oh,
so you can do the Scorcher picks, and those are they're less probable things to hit, but you can up to 50x, I think, your what you put on your pick'ems. McCaffrey, I had him rocking. What was the one that got me? It was like a first quarter yardage. Where the hell are you?
True. That's very, very true. He was aggressive for that. Yeah. Shanahan going for it on that 4th down was crazy. Like the entire stadium was like, oh, crap.
I had 19.5 points on Isiah Pacheco in the first quarter.
That's it.
7. Yep, 7 rushing yards. But anyway, there's a lot. There's so many fun games on Underdog. I do the best ball drafts in the summer. So I know the football season's over, but if you like watching those other lesser sports, link in the description, code GPS.
Lesser sports.
They are. I have a love-hate relationship with the NFL, but it is the most elite.
I'm also glad we're not talking about the field because I'm not going to lie, I was really concerned about that because I went on it and I was like, this is soft. Like I was in the back of the 49ers end zone and like there was already grass that was like ripped up and I was like, oh no, like are we doing this again? But no, like it didn't look like it was an issue because I was terrified.
No, the field, like that wasn't an issue. There wasn't like a crazy, horrible officiating call.
Yeah.
You know, the Niners lost that game on their own merit. They really did.
Yeah. Yeah.
When the Chiefs won it on theirs. So
that's it. Yeah, it was a crazy week, buddy. It was a pretty freaking crazy
you survived
week.
it. What was the best part of your experience there?
Okay. I'm going to mention a couple things, but like I'm going to give you a curveball. Actually, like probably was my favorite moment I've ever had doing this.
Ooh.
So, and winning it, of course, was like incredible. That was That was just something special.
Obviously very tight.
And also just like going up and being like, as long as I'm not the one to mess up, I'm good. And I didn't. Max Crosby did. Justin did.
What did Crosby do? Like, see,
he had to restart his thing because he's like, and 2020, I'm sorry, and 2020, and then he didn't even say my name, which was in the script. And I was like,
because he announced who the winner was for Fan of the Year, right?
He was after they showed the video package. Yeah. So I'll give you like the backstage things. So Wednesday, I had to go to rehearsal. So full transparency now, because now I can. I found out, not this past Thursday, because I was the honors, the Thursday before.
Correct.
I got surprised. The Packers, they surprised me. Wes Hodkiewicz came out. A buddy of mine wrote an amazing article on Packers.com. Shout out to Wes. He just did a really great job. And they were like, you cannot. They showed me the trophy. I met Goodell. And then like, you cannot tell a soul. Like, you can't tell anyone. I was like, oh, okay. I won't. So, I was also terrified of like, if I tell anyone, like they're going to take it away from me. So like, I was just like, we're not saying a freaking fracking word. But on Monday, when I streamed before I left, I like did a Q&A and I was like, if we do, because I wanted to kind of like, represent the fan base too. I was like, what should I do if it's nonverbal? Because I didn't know what I was going to have. Like, I didn't know if I was making a speech. I didn't know if I had a line. I don't know if I was just standing there and looking pretty. I have no idea. Right. Then we came with the finger snap, shout Bill, and we did it. It was great. But so I go there on Wednesday and I'm sitting there and the NFL reps are like, oh, did you get the script? I was like, what script? And so they email me just like a page or two, and it's only one line, and it's the greatest line ever. And I'm shout out to the NFL for giving me a line that's perfect of I do hate the Vikings, right? It's perfection. So I go up on stage. This is on Wednesday, and Justin's not there because he's doing actor things, right?
Right.
So there's a stand-in, and they ask me, they're like, did you see the script? I was like, 2 minutes ago, I saw the script, and it's just one line. I think I'll be okay. So we go out there, like I walk on, I got to see the set. It was really cool. I say my line, we just run through it once, and then it was like, okay, see you tomorrow. And I was like, okay. I was like, you guys are going to come get me? Because we were pretty high up. We were like mezzanine 6. So I was like, all right, that's great. So what winds up happening is that night, first of all, the honors were incredible. Like, you are like bumping elbows with like Derwin James. Like there's just like all these athletes there. Saw Drew Brees, Ray Lewis. Like it was wild. They pulled me like 3 awards in to the green room. And so they pull me downstairs. They don't let me in the green room at first because they're like, we don't know who this is. And I was like, I don't know who I am either. And once we had that existential crisis, they let me in. And here's the thing. He has seen the reaction. So I get in the green room, and it's a smaller room. It has a bar. I'm not drinking because I'm like, nope. Like I'm not. I am not even.
I would have probably needed one in that moment.
Yeah, like I had like a glass of like wine, I think, upstairs, and like that was it. And like, okay,
you're good.
I'm good. I'm just like, I'm not gonna be like, woohoo.
You need the one drink confidence.
Yeah. So I get in there. Justin Jefferson's in there. Tyreek Hill is in there, and Deion Sanders walks in.
Oh, you got prime?
So Deion walks in and starts talking to Justin Jefferson and Tyreek Hill, and I'm just standing there. Because what the hell am I going to add to that conversation? Nothing. Absolutely. I want to be respectful too, like, because they know each other and like they're. So I was just like, all right, I'm just going to wait. And I'm waiting for Justin because I was like, okay, I'll introduce myself. I'll be like, hey, I'm presenting with you, all that great stuff.
Yeah. Justin Hartley.
Yes, Justin Hartley.
Heartthrobbly.
So I'm in the green room. There's no Justin. So they come and get me. And they're like, we have to go up to the stage now. And I was like, okay. Because they told me it was like going to happen like within an hour of the show. And I was like, okay, but I wasn't like 100% sure.
Yeah.
So they pull me up and like, we're about to take the elevator. And she was like, the runner was like, we don't have time. We have to take the stairs. I was like, okay. So like I sprint up the stairs. I'm just like running as fast as I can. And I'm waiting backstage and they come over to me with the tablet. And they're like, okay, I'm going to show you how to use this. And I was like, okay. They're like, don't push this button. Whatever you do not push this button. It's the off button. I'm not going to push the off button. Listen, sure. I'm 33 years old. I could use technology, but I can only imagine. And it's super easy because there's only 2 slides, right? And he shows me like 8 times. And I'm like, how many times have people messed this up? He's like, you'd be surprised. I was like, I was a teacher. I'm not. And it literally says like the AP Coach of the Year presented by Verizon is, and then you just go, whoop. And then it says the full name in bold. It's the only thing that's on there. Yeah. He's like, you just do this. And if you mess it up, you just scroll back down, up, down. right? So like 30 seconds before we were going to go on, I know who won Coach of the Year. There's still no Justin. So eventually, Justin comes backstage, and I introduce myself. I'm like, hey, like I'm Tom, yada, yada, yada. I told him like, congratulations on the new show, because that's cool, and that's great. He's like, yeah. So we're just kind of like standing there. He goes, so you know what we're saying out there? I was like, what? He's like, yeah, like, do we have a script or something? And I was like, so I like rip out my phone and I grab the email and I was like, here. And like he had to say like a couple paragraphs. And I was like, I know he's an actor. I don't think he's going to memorize it in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And then like, I was like, here, I was like, the teleprompter is going to be here. I was at rehearsal yesterday. So it's this, and this. And again, the only thing I'm doing is like, as long as I don't mess this up. So we go out there. We're just standing next to each other. We don't rehearse at all. And we're like, all right, we walk out. So we walk out. It's a really cool moment of just like, I get a little emotional for like a hot second. I'm like, this is just really cool. The fans of the year going nuts. Johnny screaming. Like, it's really, really cool. And the thing that actually got me emotional is I looked out into the crowd and I saw Mark Murphy. And now I've known Mark Murphy, since 2016, and I've done interviews with him. And like for him to be there, I was like, damn, okay, like this is really special. Like this is really cool. And so Max Crosby introduces one of us. We get out there. He reads it. It's the video package. Now backstage, I'm like, it's Kevin Stefanski. Because I didn't know how much football he watched, right?
Yeah.
He's a working man. He's not obsessed like we are about football.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, it's Kevin Stefanski.
Like, do you know who the defensive coordinator is for the Dolphins in the last 6 years?
He is the I didn't see any of them. He's the coach of the Browns, like in case he wants to do anything with that, whatever.
Yeah.
So then they start showing the video package because everything goes well with us on the first side. They start which is pretty long because it's like all the coaches and they have all these highlights. And even in between, because then we had to move center stage, I was like, it's Kevin Stefanski. It's Kevin. Like I'm telling this to him. I'm like, it's Kevin Stefanski. And the best part is that what Justin's known for is This Is Us.
Yeah.
In which his character's name was Kevin. So he goes, the winner is, I'm holding it out for him. He swipes it and he goes, Steven Stefan. And just the instinctual, I'm so glad you tweeted out, the instinctual teacher in me was like, it's Kevin. Like and I didn't realize the house didn't pick it up, but I didn't realize it got picked up on the broadcast. And then he went with it and he rolled and it was great.
Yeah.
So like, that was just great. So then we get backstage and I'm like, Justin's, we like kind of say goodbye to each other. He gets dragged off by some agent because he's got, important things to do. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm just standing there. Christian McCaffrey walks past me and I was like, I don't know where to go because I'm just backstage now at the NFL Honors. I have no credentials. I have nothing. I'm just standing there. And like, people were like, good job. I was like, thanks. What do you want me to do? And they're like, well, who'd you present with? And I was like, Justin. He's like, oh, do you want us to call Justin back? I was like, I met Justin 2 minutes ago. I don't think he wants to see me ever again. Right? We didn't come together.
No, I don't want you to call that guy back.
Yeah, no, please do not do that.
Justin, will you take me to where I need to go, please?
Legitimately, I felt like a lost kid in the grocery store.
They kind of treated you like it.
And then so one of the producers who I met during the rehearsal comes, he goes, oh, did you get your badge? And I was like, no. And he reaches in his pocket, not there. And he really, oh, here you go. And it's like NFL Honors, badge says Tom Grossi on it. And I was like, that probably would have been the show's over.
Earlier.
A little bit better. No, they were explained. They were definitely explained. I mean, I feel like they got explained a lot. We just never used them.
Yeah.
So what winds up happening is I eventually that's when I go and find my way. And they're like, do you know how to get back to your seat? And I was like, well, as soon as you get me out of these tunnel basement things, I can get out. And that's when I called you guys and hopped on the stream and all that. And then I broke down crying because I was like, this is amazing. Yeah. So then after that, I actually got to meet Mark Murphy again and kind of just have a moment. He's like, you're our first fan that ever won. And kind of just had this really, really cool moment. So that was really cool. Right. The next day was amazing on Radio Row. Shout out St. Jude for getting me there. Because they got me in on Wednesday and Friday. It was St. Jude. And I met Jordan Love, who knows exactly who I am. Jordan Love, met Aaron Jones. One of the best before I get to the best. I'm walking just across the auditorium and I hear Tom Grossi. And I turn around and there's this guy who I don't recognize. He's like, come here. And I walk over to him and he goes, I'm Brian Branch's brother.
Oh,
I love you, man. And I was like, oh my God.
That's
so Brian,
pretty cool.
Because Brian Branch was there, he was doing a bunch of Radio Row spots and all that great stuff. So what winds up happening is like we have a 15-minute conversation. He's like, dude, like I appreciate you because like you respected my brother from the beginning. He's like, we've seen your reaction video like a gajillion times and all this stuff. And we just talked about the Lions organization and how they're run and it was just all good stuff. And at that point, I'm like, I have to get a picture with Brian Branch, like just for the memes.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, like come find us later. Like we'll try to make something happen. So I walk around for like 30 minutes. I do a couple spots on Radio Row, and then I wind up running into them again, and Brian Branch is walking to do an interview, and his brother like runs over and he's like, no, it's Tom Grossi. And Brian Branch whips around and he's like, this guy, like he was like the nicest dude. And I was laughing my ass off.
That
like
is awesome.
Legitimately laughing my ass off. Yeah, CMC, he tried. But
we got to
that
get
was
Brian
like just
on the
such
show
a,
then. He's got to be
don't-
our guy. We got to be the Branch.
don't let your memes be dreams. Like that's what that was. So that was really cool. But legitimately, like meeting Jordan was awesome. You know, that was really cool. I just told him like how happy I was that like he's on our team and like the quarterback and stuff, because he's definitely seen the reaction. We've talked about it before. And like he recorded a video for me for Fan of the Year, which was really kind of him. Yeah, he did not have to do that. So like we're good. But at one point I ran into Ty from the Pat McAfee show, ran into like Zito, Billy Tubes and stuff like that. And that was really nice.
Cool.
So I
They
was
make
waiting
you-
around to see Pat because I want to like thank him for everything.
Yeah.
And there's another guy standing there. He starts talking, and I immediately recognize his voice, and I go, "Holy shit, that's Chris Berman."
Oh, the Berms.
So
I saw that picture. Yeah.
Chris Berman for me, that's like an idol for me, like in sports media, because like
Yeah.
I don't really get starstruck. Because it's just like, well, it's you mean it's people. Like people are people, right? And it's like really cool, and I'm really appreciative. Don't get me wrong, but Chris Berman, dude, I was like, holy shit, this is Chris Berman. Like he's my guy. Like that's how I grew up watching football. And this guy like shoves a camera in his face and a mic or whatever, and he's just like, "Oh, Chris, can I interview?" And Chris is like, "No, like this is weird." He's just like, one question. He's like, like, what would you say to people trying to do this? He's like, just be positive. So he was already kind of annoyed, right? So Berman turns around and starts walking away. And I was like, I don't want a picture. I don't want anything. I legit just like want to shake this guy's hand and be just like, hey, like, I just appreciate the hell out of you. Like you kind of got me into sportscasting. Like this is something like you are the guy. And I go to shake him. I was like, hey, Mr. Berman, just wanted to shake your hand real quick. And he goes, oh, you went to the 30 stadiums in 30 days. And I was like, yeah. And he goes, dude, yeah, I've read all about you. And like he starts like just listing off accolades.
Badass.
And I was like, holy God. And I'm just Johnny doesn't even bring out his camera. Like we're just like stunned. And I was just like, like I just respect the job that you did. Like, thank you so much. And he goes, no. I want to hear more about you. Dude, we had like a 15, 20-minute conversation.
Oh, that's amazing.
And like at the end, he's like, no, I want to take a picture with you. Like it was like such a highlight of, damn, this is like a guy that I grew up watching, who, in my opinion, is probably one of the greatest sportscasters to like ever exist.
Sure, easy.
And he's like one of my favorite, if not my favorite. So like that just moment was, and he knew who I was. I was like, that's pretty damn cool.
That
was pretty cool.
I thought the story was gonna be cool, but like him knowing that, fucking amazing.
Yeah, because like, dude, I just want to shake his hand and be like, hey, appreciate you. Like, go about your day, because I'm sure you're Chris Berman, you're busy. But dude, like he knew, and I was like, damn, that's cool. Yeah, there was players after the honors that were coming up to me and stuff like that because they had heard about it, and like I was just, it was a really cool weekend. It was a very like validating weekend, and I know like you and I have talked about this in private too. It's just like, dude, it took 9 years to get there.
Yeah,
and like doing it the hard way of like not doing it through a sponsor or not doing anything. It's just like I applied this year and they're like, you don't have a big enough fan base. And I was like, okay, that's cool. Like it's all good.
Be a part of the Radio Row, right?
Yeah, like just to get like a table for like a few hours. Like there was guys, I appreciate you. There was guys there that I like helped set up some of their equipment. Because like they were just like a couple college guys, what have you. Yeah. And like, yeah, that's what you do. Like this is an awesome opportunity. There was like students there and like they had their own booth. It was amazing. But yeah, like to be there in the room with all of your peers. Yeah. Right. And just like everybody in sports media was just like a very like, damn, like we did it. Like we kind of made it there. And just to experience it like that once was, dude, like I'll never forget that.
No, it was cool to watch from like a distance too. And I think it was Thursday night.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to Jess, and I was like, this is the moment I wish I was out there with Tom and Johnny to go celebrate after you won.
Yeah.
Because you're like, hey, you could come out on like Friday. I was like, yeah, it's been like crazy here the last month. I was like, I don't think I can swing it.
Yeah.
And I had no desire to leave my basement because we know when you leave the basement, you're just going to get COVID.
You get effing COVID.
Yeah. And now, like, knowing you got it, I'm like, I would have went there and would have gotten
You're like,
COVID.
I made the right decision.
And like, but after you won, I was like, man, I wish I was there just to go have like a whiskey with you and Barks to just like appreciate and celebrate all of the work you put in to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. And
I was like texting you and Johnny. I was like, I hope you guys are going out and getting drunk tonight because like
I wound up
you
having
never
like
deserved it more.
I had a couple whiskeys and was like, and then we met like a CEO of like a hotel, and I was like, oh, okay, this is weird, but yeah, man, it was like amazing just to go out and like feel that because like dude, like after 30 and 30, like I came back, we put it out, and like I went back to work on Monday. Like I took the red eye so I can get back to work today because I'm like I need to do every fans, I need to do scripted, but that moment and like the moment before I walked out on the field for the freaking Super Bowl, I literally am like telling them, I'm just like be present, man, like just take this in because I feel like when it's just like next, or you just be like I have to pretend that I've been there before, which I've obviously not been there before. But you do that for so long. Like, dude, I've been doing that since 2016. Like, when I first interviewed Mark Murphy, I was like, oh, this is normal that Mike McCarthy and Dom Capers are walking past me and saying good morning. This is normal as a diehard fan. And so that was like just a cool of like, damn, like take this in. And it all came out like when I hopped on stream and seeing like all the clickbait guys there. Like, it was really cool, man.
It was tight.
Really cool.
It's so tight. Yeah, it was like one of the coolest things, like to watch somebody like and work with and respect get rewarded for their hard work. Like it gives you a little bit of optimism that if you just keep grinding, keep doing your thing, that hopefully like the shit you want to happen can. So, it was so fun because they had you present next to one of the most handsome men around, too.
Oh, yeah, dude. No, I looked like a freaking mountain troll compared to him because he is a
No, that's not what I'm
man.
saying.
He is a beautiful man. Like, he
dang.
is. I was like, damn. Like, there's not even a competition. Like, I
you
got
could call him Blevin Blablowski and nobody would care.
No, there's like, he's gorgeous. It's fine. It's totally fine. But, the nose, baby. The nose. But yeah, dude, I appreciate you. Yeah, it was cool.
It was cool. It was so
cool.
Just
really, and again, it was also like nothing was given, man. Like this is just 9 years of came from literally zero, and just then I wound up there. And again, like that wasn't even through the NFL. Like it was through St. Like, and shout out to St. Jude for like hooking that up. Because I was just supposed to be there on Wednesday, and they got me in on Friday, and that's when I got to experience like Chris Berman and Jordan Love and Aaron Jones and all that stuff. So that was really cool.
How was it beating Ben Kurt at Madden?
Oh my God. First of all, I haven't seen Ben Kurt in years. Like the last time I saw him was when he threw me a pass, right?
Oh, that's right.
Brian Branch is awesome. It's definitely COVID.
This time you threw him a pass.
So we just like caught up and kind of just like chatted and stuff. And we're walking through the NFL experience and it was empty at that point. And there was the Madden bus. So I was like, okay. He's like, do you want to play a game of Madden? And I was like, dude, like if I score a touchdown, like I'm running away because like I'm not good at Madden, and you are literally like the Madden content creator, right? So I know how this is gonna go. It's not gonna go well, and so like I lose the toss. Like I kick off. He like runs one play where like Aaron Jones, and then he tosses it up and I intercept it. And I was like, I'm just gonna call the ballsiest play possible. And if this scores, like I'm running. I literally hit it. The guy was like somewhat open. Score, drop, gone. I was like, that's it. Johnny's like, you're not gonna let me come back? I'm like, nope.
Game over.
Gone. So, yeah, no, they're gonna renegotiate. Yeah, because they're gonna. That's what we were talking about before. They're gonna get more cap. But dude, it's just like it was a cool weekend, just seeing a lot of people that like you knew within the space and everything like that.
Did Barks take the red eye back?
No, he's actually. I think he's still in Vegas.
Is he just gonna live there now?
Yeah, that's his home now.
He's gonna sneak from room to room until they figure out he's been squatting in the hotel.
Correct. Yeah. Now he has his flight a little bit in a few hours, but yeah, dude, it was just It was wild, man. It was a wild time. It was a fun time, and it was just great. It was just great. So, bro, y'all are crazy. By the way, like I'm sick. I got COVID. Like I'm dying, and you're freaking donating insane amounts. Boop for the kitty. Oh,
Undefeated.
my God. Steven Stefanski. But like that's why also like I want to make sure I got that video out because like that was a community thing. Because without them, like legitimately, like it wasn't the NFL, like they legit got me on that stage. And,
yeah.
Like,
I mean, like
so much gratitude, dude. It's just so much gratitude.
We're nothing without everybody here. It propels us to do the things we want to do. And I think like you and I and everybody who built their YouTube audience through that.
Yeah.
We rely on everybody here more than anywhere else.
Yeah.
Because you could look at a lot of other successful companies and people and former athletes and even broadcasters. A lot of them got their following through the platform that they were working for, like whether that's like the NFL Network or even like McAfee started at Barstool, where instantly this huge following of people come to help put that fire and help them build it. And then you've got to be good after that. Like that's not taking away from what Pat's done. You have to be very good at what you do. But like starting from nothing, which you did, which Tree did, which Scooter and Adam and Cole and fucking Coleman, like everybody, nothing.
Yeah.
You have to prove to the people who want to watch football shit on YouTube that you're worth their time.
Yeah.
And then when they commit and they keep rocking with you, like, dude, just all the people who showed up to watch me not be able to actually watch you win the award was like sick. And then just watching the Super Bowl last night for 4 hours and knowing like people are just going there to watch me watch the Chiefs break my heart again. Like it's freaking awesome. Like I love it. And the people here are more important to us is what I'm saying.
Well, I think it's that.
We love you more than anybody else ever will.
It's true. I mean, like that's why every interview I've ever done about 30 and 30, I was like, nah, thank the fans. Like, dude, like I was the idiot who went to 30 places and like, the house and all that great stuff. But like that wouldn't have done I could have done all that and it raised like $15. Right. And nobody's gonna be like, oh, okay. Like that's what like that just came, Pat donated $25K, which is amazing. The Steelers donated $1,000. Some teams donated like jersey and stuff. That was great. But like the vast majority of that money, nearly $500,000 just came from everyday normal people. Yeah. And like, that's the kind of stuff that sticks with me because like that doesn't get lost. And like, dude, like accepting that award and like, I put that in the video, like this is like also to creators and stuff like that who just like want to do this. I mean, the story I always tell, it took me 3 years to make $200 on this platform. Yeah. But you just do it because you love it. And like, it has never been about money. That's why the show's free. Like, it's never been about anything. It's just like, hey, like, I love football. I've done this job for free. I'll do this job for free again if I have to. Because like, at the end of the day, legitimately, like, I'm a fan. Like, I'm a fan of the sport. And
that's very respectable. Yeah. Respectable. So, I mean, we raised $11,000 during your honors. Like, it's amazing. It is so amazing.
And go Chargers.
Go Chargers, go.
Oh, crazy. Because now I'm just trying to catch up.
Yeah, now you got catch up.
Now we're going to do this. It is real. It is real.
It's real.
Yes, I got a video of the tail end of them dragging him out. He got popped. Yeah, he got popped.
What's it like seeing that live? Is it pretty fun?
Because like because I was recording plays and then I turned off the camera and then the streaker came out. And I was like, damn it. So then I turned it back on and I saw him getting dragged out. The security, they did their job. They really, really did.
Of course.
Yeah, I wanted to see CMC win it, but that's it.
He does deserve it.
I like football. Oh my God. All right. I have to catch up with this. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I got to go pee. Let's get through these. You got work to do.
Yeah, I'm going to get out every fan. Scripted might not come out till tomorrow if I'm not feeling like complete and total death. I have an appointment with the doctor at 1:30, so hopefully I could get medication because now they have medication. Because, dude, it's only my second time I got COVID.
Make sure you check your prostate. Don't forget.
Yeah, Mike, I wanted to. It's just like I was going to put that out tonight. It's just I don't know when that's going to come out. It's just I didn't have any time. So don't worry. It's not going away. Don't you worry.
I know it says I tested positive for COVID, but can you double check and make sure by feeling my prostate real quick, doctor?
Yeah, I mean, listen, you made it to the dance.
No glove either, doc. No glove. And if you are going to wear a glove, it better be similar to the one Usher had.
Evan, that's right. The true Super Bowl champions. Boop. Packers.
And the Broncos. Don't forget the Denver Broncos beat them too.
Oh, wow. Is that a pancreas?
That's why we've said they were beatable.
Yeah.
They lost 6 times in the year.
The favorite part literally was just Radio Row and just like meeting people. I went to a charity dinner on Wednesday that I couldn't go to on Thursday, which was really cool. Like just like finding out, dude, like St. Jude was like, yeah, we're donating like 120,000 things of like medicine for free to like developing countries to help people. And I was like, oh, that's amazing. Like I want to raise more money for causes. I think you just mute yourself. I love you too. Now Perna is silent.
I got to go hug Carmi. They're leaving.
Go hug Carmi. Go.
I'll be right back.
I'll get through the super chats. I'll do it. It does. Yeah. Greenlaw being out definitely was a huge problem. Bench, you crazy son of a gun. Boop, 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 boop. My God. Hold on. I'll give you 2 scooter railways. Yeah. So I was literally fine yesterday. And I was like, oh, my throat's a little scratchy. And then I took a test just to be safe and make sure I got nobody sick. And yeah, I have COVID. So that sucks like a whole lot. A whole lot. And yes, they could three-peat. And that's what we kind of talked about in the beginning of the show is just like they, even with the flaws that everybody knows about the team, they still won. And that was the only questionable thing I had was like Purdy was saying like they were surprised with how much man they played. And I think they were like top 10 in man defense. So that was a little weird, but
Johnny John John!
Another one.
Johnny John John!
Like they just proved that they are the team to beat like forever now and always. So that's fun. Congrats, Chiefs. You literally have a vice grip on the league. I hope you're happy. I hope you're happy. Hey, let's go, Slytherin. That's awesome. That's freaking awesome. But I'm going to put out every fans today. I'm going to record through it. I'm going to get out scripted. I'm going to write it out. I'm probably not going to get it out today just because like I'm dying and I want to see if I can feel a little bit better before I do it so it doesn't come out horribly. But we gonna try. We gonna try. Yeah, but that's the thing. Wilkes, I know he's got a lot of crap like all year, but Wilkes, I think, called a really good defensive game plan. Except, of course, like at the end, like they didn't want to give up the big play. But I think for the most part, especially in that first half, they played really well. I think the Chiefs just kind of adjusted, and then of course you have mistakes that happen, and yeah. Drew Brees, listen, what was it like the highest completion percentage or some crazy thing? Drew Brees, that guy. He is that guy. It is too good. And I think a lot of it comes down to Andy Reid. I mean, for him to be able to coach that team, knowing where their flaws are and still go out, on the road, 2 out of the 3 games, playing some of the best teams, and then, of course, winning the Super Bowl is pretty nuts.
Oh, yeah.
Did you pee?
Oh, I had to.
Sexy man. He's a sexy man.
Hugged Carmi, then I peed.
When you hugged Carmi, you peed?
No, after.
Oh, okay, good. Well, maybe she squeezed really hard. Maybe she's been lifting. I don't know. Yeah, Dolphins, I'm so sorry. I ran into a couple Dolphins fans, and they're like, I don't even know what to do. I don't even know what to do. So,
yeah.
Yes,
I don't.
Because I knew about, because it's Smallville, right? In Green Arrow. Johnny told me that. He's like, you were at the Green Arrow. It's true. It's true. It's true. Take care of myself. I will. Don't worry, I will. After I record this video of every fans, which I throw on all the jerseys, I will then take care of myself and just kind of lay down and die. I'll just do that. I'm just going to do that. So, I mean, is Mahomes going anywhere else?
What?
That's always the question. Is he still Mahomes?
Oh, I know how Mahomes can prove he's GOAT.
You Panthers.
Yeah, go play for a different team and win a Super Bowl, Pat. Go play for a shitty team. You're so good. And I'm semi-serious.
Appreciate you.
Go to the worst team. Like, if you want to solidify yourself as the greatest football player ever, go to the worst team and win them a Super Bowl. Easy.
I did not get slimed.
Do that. I would be so impressed
So bad.
if he won the Panthers a Super Bowl. And then the next year went to the next worst team and won them a Super Bowl.
You just don't want him to be on the Chiefs anymore.
That's part of it.
What if you
But like when you think about it, like what would be more impressive?
I don't think it's that hot.
What would be more impressive?
So if you went to the Raiders, you'd be okay with that?
They're not the worst team. No. Can't be a division right. If you went to the Chargers, if you went to the Chargers and won them a Super Bowl, then I'd be impressed.
So if he took that roster to the Super Bowl, you'd be like, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Usher was very sweaty. He was very sweaty.
But it's got Panthers. He's got to be the worst team. Do that twice. Then come win one for the Broncos. Then go back to the Chiefs and win them another one. I don't care at that point.
Yeah, if you're an AFC team, you're just like, God, like someone answer my prayers because at least like the Packers don't have to play them. And it's like you could have the hope of like maybe something happens where they get eliminated or, you know, like you just get lucky or like something just bounces your way. John Elway, baby. John Elway. That's it.
Elway, baby.
Peppers. But Perna, what you got coming out, buddy?
I'll have winners, the real winners and losers from the Super Bowl.
Probably not going to be around. Oh, you're doing that today?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Will and I power through it.
I did not meet Usher. No. Jordan Love, Aaron Jones, Brian Branch, Chris Berman. That was pretty damn cool. That was pretty damn cool. It was cool to finally like talk to Jordan, especially after you recorded the video for me from last week.
Yeah.
It was pretty crazy. So
he seems cool.
He was. And he like, if you watch, dude, did you see the clip where he went on Micah Parsons' podcast and literally like told him to his face how he beat him?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, he was like, you know what, like Parsons was like, what can you do? You know, what did you do? Like, what'd you see in our defense? He's like, yeah, you have DBs playing linebacker. So like we can exploit that. And like as long as we could stop your pass rush, we were fine and like tore you apart. It was awesome. But Jordan Love like being more like loose and kind of like letting that personality come out a little bit more. Like he's feeling that confidence, and that's just such an exciting thing to see. So
Jordan Love can stop Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, you know what? Listen. I keep my promises. All right. Perna, can you jump on those supers?
Jordan Love can stop Patrick Mahomes.
I keep my promises. I do.
Let's see here. Where are we at?
I keep my promises. Hold on. Hold the phone. I got you. I literally packed this. It was a full-blown... I'm going to make sure that this is in my bag. I'm going to show you now. I was going to save it for clickbait, but we'll do it for GPS because y'all crazy. Okay. There we go.
That's a lot of math.
Math?
That's a lot of math.
Here you go, Brandon.
13 still unlucky. Oh, God.
Ready?
Yeah.
I brought Head and Shoulders to the Super Bowl.
Yes. The Head and Shoulders made it.
Listen, I keep my promises. Dude, so it was Comeback Player of the Year. It was sponsored by Head and Shoulders. I was like, I swear to God, if I announced that one, because I didn't know.
That would have been funny.
I didn't know. So, dude. I mean, yeah. So I think even if the Ravens go, I think they have a good shot at beating the 49ers. Yeah. So I think so.
You need some NFC Super Bowls that don't have Tom Brady in them.
But it was a fun Super Bowl. I really enjoyed it. It was a cool one to go to. So, because like I will say, like pregame, it felt like a Super Bowl, but during the first half, it didn't. If that makes sense, because it was kind of like, all right, it's kind of like sloppy. Again, there's good defensive play, which is cool.
Yeah,
but yeah,
Fitty.
So like kind of like a shootout.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much everybody eats bread.
Everybody eats bread. Everybody eats bread.
Not Tom Brady.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, 49ers fans. I'm so sorry. It's just sad, man. Like I get it. Like I'm not gonna pretend that I was rooting for you guys because I wasn't. Like, but I wasn't really rooting for anybody. But like the fact the 49ers lost and they give us so much heartbreak and misery, I was like, okay, we could just be there together. So we're just gonna sit on the couch together.
Yeah, it was
I'll
rough.
Take a nap when I'm dead or when I'm done recording every NFL fans. So, Andy Reid should be mentioned as one of the best coaches in NFL history. Yes.
Yeah, he's up there.
Top 5.
Yeah.
Easy.
I think like that should give 49ers fans hope too. Like people are like down on Kyle Shanahan, right? Look how long it took before Andy Reid won his first Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And now he has 3.
Is that unpopular?
coaches can hang around for a long time, and Kyle Shanahan's a good coach. Hopefully, you learn from all your little mistakes. Every little dagger makes you a little bit better.
Dope. Oh, that was the other thing, dude. Real quick. I don't know if it's still there. It is. Okay. So this is another thing while you go through supers. Appreciate you, Matt. I've been going to this website for years and years and years and years. And now I'm on it.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
That is amazing. Again, shout out Wes writing an amazing article. But legitimately, this is a site, if you're a Packers fan, true. If you're a Packers fan, Ask Vic back in the day. That was you would ask questions. I asked a question to Vic, and I would do it for years. And, I got a question answered, and I printed it out at my job. And so to go on my team's website and see that,
pretty badass,
pretty dope. No, I thought Stefanski deserved it.
Yeah,
I thought Stefanski.
No, I didn't. I don't.
You wanted Campbell?
I thought D'Amico or Campbell was more impressive, and I think Stefanski did a hell of a job.
I had D'Amico or Stefanski.
Yeah,
it was good. It was good.
D'Amico would have been the people's choice, I think.
Sure. Yeah, D'Amico would have been good. I think Stefanski did just because you took a battered team. It literally took him to the playoffs.
Don't care.
Let's go.
He got bailed out by Joe Flacco. He got flackinated.
Let's go.
He got flackinated. Also, you have not been to more Super Bowls than the Vikings.
That's true. No, they've had more appearances, but
they've been there 4 times and lost all 4.
Just like the Bills. Sorry, Bills. I'm so sorry. Bills is more heartbreaking, but
Bills, Broncos, and Vikings for a short time.
That's a hot take.
We've all been to the Super Bowl 4 times and lost. We were all the same.
I think I literally, when I met Jordan Love, I said, I'll see you in New Orleans. So
yeah, that was cool.
Appreciate you, Ed. Come on now.
That was cool.
That's it. Dude, if he did, that would have been incredible. But again, the fact that Jordan did anything, I'm like, he didn't have to do that. That was really cool of him. That was really cool. Appreciate you, Brandon. And folks, you're all crazy. I appreciate you joining. I'll be doing a stream at some point. I did not anticipate getting COVID when I got back. So I'm going to put out every NFL fan's reaction to the Super Bowl. I'll try to get that out within the next couple hours. I have a doctor's appointment in an hour. But yeah, I appreciate the hell out of you.
Hell yeah.
So I gotta throw it right in there. Right in there.
Amazing.
But we'll be back on Wednesday, Perna, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll be back on Wednesday. I am freezing, and it's not cold in here.
Yeah, you got to go get some rest, Tom.
But folks, I appreciate the hell out of you. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. This is GPS, and you have been navigated.
And you've reached your moon.
I'm so cold. I'm so cold.